Let's bring you some other news now. Businesswoman Bridgette Motsepe-Radebe wants to set the record straight. It's been alleged Radebe was involved in political manipulation and conspiring to overthrow the Botswana government. In a series of articles, she's accused of having secret meetings and financially backing the opposition in the recent presidential campaign. Motsepe-Radebe addressed the media a short while ago, and our reporter Moloko Moloto was there. Moloko, blanket denials there from Motsepe-Radebe. Unpack for us what happened in that media briefing a little earlier on this morning.
Hello, Michelle Craig. Indeed, the South African businesswoman Bridgette Motsepe-Radebe flatly denies ever attempting to even overthrow the government of Botswana. She denies ever bankrolling any person to even do that, and she denies the allegations that she was behind whatever terrorism claims that were put out there. You'll remember that there has been a series of media reports by the local media in Botswana alleging that she's got an interest. She's been meeting with the former president Ian Khama in some place in Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, where she allegedly held those secret talks. And also allegations of money laundering were peddled around there. So today, when she addressed the media, she said that she believes essentially that those reports were just peddling wrong information, misleading information, and she pointed out that she is going to be taking legal action against a particular newspaper that's been constantly running with these allegations. Also implicated in this was her brother, South African businessman Patrice Motsepe. We know he also flatly denied any wrongdoing in this regard, and he's also taking legal action. And we were told that the newspaper that's been also implicating him retracted the story, and however he insisted that he is going to continue with the legal action. But let me talk to Bridgette Motsepe-Radebe herself. Ma'am, thank you so much. You deny any of the accusations that are leveled against you, but somebody would ask, how then, to your knowledge, were you implicated? We know that in Botswana there's a woman who's been given a nickname of Butterfly. She's apparently, you are a signatory. You are a co-signatory with her in an account of holding about billions of US dollars, and the government in Botswana believes that money was collected to overthrow the government there. What's your involvement there, if any?
I think what we need to do, so that it's not he said, I said, he didn't say, you said. The whole thing is very simple. I went to Zimbabwe, and I was collected at the airport by Ambassador Stuart McCormick, who is the ambassador that was appointed and asked, he was an ambassador on duty, the advisor of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He collected me in the plane, drove with us, and President Khama's brother and sister-in-law, and the people that were with us, to go and have the lunch with Ambassador Andrea. Now, the Zimbabwean government will tell you, I was never imprisoned. There was never any money taken away from me. The plane was not confiscated. Now, if the Zimbabwean police, the Zimbabwean Minister of Foreign Affairs, tells you it never happened, then it's not even a denial. It is the truth, and it's the fact that it never happened. So it's not me saying that and they saying this. Yeah. That can be cleared. Yeah. Now, with the next one, in terms of the allegations of Butterfly, I don't know the lady. I met the lawyer for the first time. I've never met the lady. I see in the affidavit that she is an intelligence officer in jail. And she is in jail because she and I are supposed to have opened bank accounts to the extent of 1 billion, nearly $14 to 15 billion rands, depending on the rand-dollar exchange, that was taken from Botswana, Bank of Botswana, and taken to the banks in South Africa, Nedbank and Absa. But that affidavit is not signed, and it comes from Absa and Nedbank. So the lawyer's here to find out from Absa and Nedbank, who's defending and assisting the lady against this court case, to find out whether it happened. Now, you know that any money that gets out of here to any country or any money that comes from anybody offshore into South Africa has to get Reserve Bank approval. And that Reserve Bank approval has to go in line with an application and facts in terms of where the money is going to, for whom the money is going to, and who. You don't go to the Reserve Bank. It is your bank that interacts with the Reserve Bank.
But are you aware of this money that came from Botswana into these two South African banks?
I have no idea of what they're talking about. It's like looking at a James Bond 007 movie. I have no idea. So the bank, fortunately, the lawyer's here that represents the lady. After this, we're going to go to the bank, and the bank will say the same thing. Right. Ask the Reserve Bank of South Africa where the money came in. You can't bring money in the country without Reserve Bank approval. The Reserve Bank will say it never happened.
You did say, ma'am, that Botswana is like your second home. You went to university with some of the leaders there, for instance, the current president, and also the woman who was about to contest the current president within the BDP party. Now, because the allegation has been that you were bankrolling an attempt to overthrow the government, did you at any given stage, whether you were aware that the money that you were... okay, I guess the direct question is, did you ever give anyone in Botswana money, whether for campaigns or for donations of any sort?
I have never in Botswana given money for any illicit outflow of capital, for money laundering, or for any regime change, or for any terrorism, as they say. I've also not given money to anybody except what I'm doing with a company that is my advising company. As I said to you earlier, it is a company that is investigating the possibility of creating a bank and the possibility of doing stock exchange, and the money that has been given to them, it goes with a contract that is signed between the two of us. The Reserve Bank has the contract. Any money that goes out through the Reserve Bank approval to that gentleman.
You did say that. Sorry, you did say that you're going to sue one of the newspapers that's been constantly running with this story. Here in South Africa or in Botswana or even Interpol, are you going to be approaching authorities, for instance, the national prosecuting authorities here, to investigate all these allegations yourself?
I'm not just going to do that. I would like them to go to Interpol, but I just don't want them to stop that. They must also look at Judge Dennis Davis, who's been assigned to look into this illicit outflow of capital by Minister Nene before, because remember, I'm the one who went to Parliament and went to the Portfolio Committee of DTI, Trade and Industry, Finance and Mining, to say there's money laundering, illicit outflow of capital, and then, fortunately, that commission was set up. But we need to look at the NPA, National Prosecuting Authority, Department of Intelligence, Department of Police. They have to investigate whether I am a person who's doing money laundering. But it mustn't just stop here. They must go to Botswana, and investigation must be done also in that country and also offshore where they claim the money.
Right. I'm sorry we have run out of time, but I have to ask you this final question. There were reports that your husband, former Minister Jeff Radebe, is suing the former president of Botswana, Ian Khama, for infidelity. Apparently he was in a relationship with you. Is there any truth with that?
Former Minister Radebe is not suing anybody, because I would have known. And we are family friends. My father was with President Khama's father at Fort Hare University, and the late Tata Motlana. The three of them were very close, and that friendship continued even after they completed their varsity degrees, before they were married, before they had children. The kids continued with that relationship of the friendship the parents created at university.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. Well, Michelle, there you have it. South African businesswoman Bridgette Motsepe-Radebe.
Thanks very much for that. And that's my colleague Maloko Moloto live to us there just after Motsepe-Radebe held that media briefing.